Yo, what's good everybody? This is SloMo back here with another video. This video is about the Bleeding Edge closed beta and my impressions. And yeah, let's just get into it. The Bleeding Edge closed beta started this weekend and it is available all weekend, unlike in a technical alpha where you only had a limited time, like 2 or 3 hours for a play session per week. This one's available all weekend, and they've added a couple of things. They tweaked a couple of things in the game to kind of improve the experience. I do believe the game is somewhat improved from the technical alpha, although I do feel like there is still something missing. I'll get to that later. But I did enjoy playing. Shout out to FC Violent and Devin in the box, who I played with last night. We dominated, won like 4 out of the 5 matches that we played, had a good time. And yeah, this is the kind of game, if you're interested in playing it, you should probably go play this with people that you know, people that you'll communicate with. Unfortunately, as in most multiplayer games, if you're playing with randoms, they have mics, they don't use them, and they're not going to communicate, and they're not going to use any teamwork. So you're probably going to have a bad time. So if you really want to enjoy the game, be able to learn the characters without just getting gang mobbed and jumped every time you see other characters, then go ahead and play with friends. Play with people that you know so that you can coordinate and learn about different characters from them, learn how to play those characters, and because that's the way you're going to end up enjoying the game. This is not a game where you can just pick it up and say because you are an experienced gamer that you would just get it and then dominate. All these characters play very differently. They all have different strengths and weaknesses. They are designed to be played in certain ways, and if you don't play them in those ways, you will have a bad time. So it's going to take time to learn how to play those characters, and if you're not willing to dedicate that kind of time into the game, this might not be the game for you. So if you're not aware of my previous videos on Bleeding Edge is kind of like a MOBA kind of game, kind of like a League of Legends, but it's more kind of like Overwatch. And in regards to that, if you are an Overwatch player, you should probably just continue to keep playing Overwatch primarily and just play Bleeding Edge when you feel like you want a change of pace. In comparing the two, I do think Overwatch is the better game. Now, some of the things that they added to the game that wasn't in the technical alpha, it seems like, I feel like character movement is slightly faster, or maybe that's just my familiarity with the game that makes it feel that way, but I do think it's slightly faster. And they added a parry system that wasn't in the technical alpha. So I said it before, there are certain characters that are just, when it comes, especially DPS like Damon, where you can't interrupt their combo and the character can go invisible, sneak attack you, start the sneak attack with a really strong attack and continue the combo, and depending if they got the attack buff or not, could pretty much X you out without you having very little ability to combat that. Now with the parry system, you will be able to combat that, but you have to time it correctly, and I will freely admit I just forgot to use it. I've been used to playing the game without the parry system. Didn't even think about it until after I was done playing, that I didn't attempt to parry any attacks a single time. So later on I will try that as I continue to play the game over the weekend. Now, to get to where I say I feel like the game is lacking, it's about the characters, and not necessarily how they look, because they're all very unique. And although I don't particularly care too much for the character models, I do have to give Ninja Theory props for their bravery and how some of these characters look, but it's about how the characters play. So if you look at Overwatch has some characters that are vertical, like Pharah, or even the combinations of, like, say Pharah and Mercy, where Mercy can glide through the air and Pharah can actually use a jetpack to go vertical for limited periods of time. You don't have that in this game. There is no real vertical characters, so that's like an element that's missing. So when you play Overwatch, you do have to worry about a character being able to fly over a structure that you may be behind in order to get access to you. you do have to worry about having to aim up in the air and taking that risk, knowing that there are enemies on the ground that may attack you, and therefore Blizzard has designed their maps in their games to take advantage of the fact that they're all vertical characters. And I just feel like the map designs for Overwatch are slightly better due to that, as well as the gameplay, because there is just one more element of a different kind of play style that you have to take into account, whereas Bleeding Edge just has close range fighters and long range fighters and long range support, so and close range support. So that's the element that I think is missing. Maybe that's something that Ninja Theory can address in later additions and characters as the game continues on. I think that would be a great idea. But yeah, I am still enjoying playing the game. It's not going to be my main jam, but it's definitely something I will play with friends, play with people who are interested in playing. And I think the game is pretty good. It's a fun game. If you are interested in playing it, I recommend you check it out. You might actually enjoy it. If you're not into these kind of games, then you're probably not going to enjoy it. Like, I don't like fighting games, so I don't play fighting games. And I don't judge or talk or review about fighting games. I leave that to people who care about those games, because for me personally, I think they're all trash. And that may be a wrong feeling. That actually is wrong overall to the fighting game community, because there's some fighters that are quality and there's some that aren't. But when you don't play that genre and you don't care for that genre, they all go into one particular category for you. So if that's how you are with MOBAs, then yeah, you should probably skip this game. But if you're interested and you kind of like these kind of games, go for it. So that's my video. That's my impressions of the game. Let me know how you guys feel about the game. If you played it, just drop a comment in the comment section about that. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. It's all good. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content on Bleeding Edge from me. Peace.